But now that things are about to get going for real here, who has the most to prove heading into the offseason program? When it comes to the Washington Commanders, it could be a veteran, it could be a second-year rookie, or a second-year player, rather. Who's got the most to prove as we get geared up for the offseason program? I love asking open-ended questions that you can have several different answers for. I think this fits the bill for one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the beauty of the radio business, too.
For me, man, this is tough. First of all, how much can you prove during the offseason programs? I think there are going to be some folks out there that go,
yeah,
what the hell, Lynnell? What are you talking about? What can you prove? What does Doc Walker call it? What can you prove in lingerie?
Underwear Olympics,
what can you prove in the underwear Olympics? There we go. You can prove a lot, man. You can prove a lot. I think JD5 last year proved during the offseason program that he should have been the starting quarterback.
Very quickly.
Football comes out on time to the right person. It's accurate. The ball placement's there, all of that. So love to see that. The other thing that I think about is this when it comes to the offseason program, this year in particular. Think about all of the names we've been clamoring over this offseason in terms of, he can hit the road, Jack. Couple examples. Brian Robinson, Andrew Wiley, Marshawn Lattimore, Deron Payne. Like, those are some of the names that I think about when I think about these veterans on this football team that got something to prove. I want to talk about our guy Deron Payne here for a second. Because a lot of people feel like unless he comes out and absolutely balls,
he needs to do at least like what he's getting paid to do, you know? That price point, you got to give me some production.
So if he doesn't, I'm glad that you brought that up. If he doesn't play up to the contract, Washington can get out of that contract this offseason.
Woohoo!
Scot-free. So
tell him as much. Tell him this is a contract year.
Yeah, well, you know what happened last time he heard it was a contract year.
Yeah, that's why you're telling him again.
The explosion that he had statistically was absolutely incredible. I will say this, too, and I've gone back and I've been watching games. Y'all going to kill me for this.
Uh-oh.
I'm the same guy that called him and J.A. the Alabama bank robbers, by the way. I was the guy.
You were.
Shout out Ron Rivera. But I think he played better than he got credit for last year. Oh, I know what y'all going to do. I did this with Brian Robinson, too. He's going to, or excuse me, he played, I said excuse me, like I'm from Memphis. He is better than what he got credit for a season ago. I think, to your point, Max, clearly did not live up to the $20 million per year price tag that he's got. That's just not what it was last year, statistically speaking. But when you look at what he was asked to do a season ago, a lot of the times, eating double teams, trying to keep the linebackers clean, the pass rush productivity was not there, and the run stuffing was not there. I think the latter is more important because, realistically speaking, I think Deron spoiled us with his double-digit sack season a couple of years ago. It's not commonplace for Dtackles in the NFL to just wake up with 12 and a half sacks in their lap. That's not what happens. What I need from him is to be the true bona fide anchor of this defense. Come out, hold the point of attack, keep guys clean, and most importantly, be the foundation for this run defense. And I think that's what's most important with him. But in terms of like vets that have something to prove, Deron's right at the top of my list. You know who else is at the top of my list? A position mate of his. Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah.
Javon Kinlaw got the bizag this offseason. Was one of the richest defensive tackle contracts that were given out on the open market.
For his hometown club, too.
For his hometown team. And we saw the last time we had a hometown defensive lineman here.
It didn't work out great.
Didn't work out great, but it wasn't his fault. I continue to contest. For Javon Kinlaw, though.
It's U Street's fault.
It's U Street's fault. And according to my sources out in U Street, they have had a frequent visitor.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. My vote for Offensive Player of the Year cannot stay out of Rose Bar. Anyways, we go from that to this. Javon Kinlaw, to me, has got a lot to prove. If you have a chance, by the way, this is what I was wanting to say. Go look up his story, man. I'm a sucker for a feel-good story. I'm always a firm believer, and I feel like, you know, my career path and the way some of the stuff that I've gone through in my life, I'm a testament for this. You do not let your circumstances dictate your work ethic. Javon Kinlaw did not do that. Went and played his college football at the University of South Carolina. He is a dog. D-A-W-G is the best way that I would describe him. He's been through a lot. He's experienced poverty. He's experienced pain. And it is the motivating factor for why he was able to get himself right to make it to the National Football League. Now for Javon Kinlaw, as he's on his second contract of his career, a third contract rather of his career, it ain't just about staying in the National Football League or getting to the National Football League, rather. It's about staying in the National Football League. And I think he's got a great opportunity this year to do that. He's another guy that's got something to prove to me as well, because we were right here sitting in for my guy Kevin Sheehan when that news broke on free agency day that Javon Kinlaw was their first out of house free agent signing. And I think for the money he got, knowing the expectations that, I think this fan base has for him because of the familiarity with the staff and all that, he's got something to prove as well. He's got to play big. He is a physical specimen that can play all up and down this Commanders defensive line. I do think we'll see him used as that elephant defensive end at times, similarly to how DQ used Red Bryant out in Seattle. But most importantly for Kinlaw, man, it's about being the biggest, freakiest athlete on the field. And that's the guy that I think is going to stand out the most when we go out there for OTAs in terms of like who looks like they were built in a lab and God said, you know what? You're playing football. Javon Kinlaw is one of those guys. Felt the same way about Jeremy Chin last year, walking around 6'3", 225 pounds, cut, chiseled. I think Kinlaw's going to be that this year. I got high hopes for Kinlaw, though.
I do too.
High expectations, they also come with high hopes.
Because
I think he's got the juice to give you legit pass rush pop from the interior, something that escaped this team last year. And while Dante Fowler was busy getting his quiet-ass 10.5 sacks, the interior of this D-line was in no man's land for a lot of the season. So if the trio, I guess they're a quartet of Javon Kinlaw, Deron Payne, I expect those two to be your starters, by the way. Then off the bench, Jerzon Newton and Eddie Goldman. I think you're going to be in good shape, man. That group as a whole, to me, has a lot to prove, because if they can right their wrongs from last year and play like badasses, so to speak, the entire floor of this defense raises. It just does. So I'm excited to see them. We're going to take your calls on this at 301-230-0980. As we get geared up for the start of the offseason program, rookie mini camp starts on Friday. OTAs begin 3 weeks from now. Who has the most to prove heading into the Washington Commanders offseason program? 301-230-0980. You can tweet at me as well. It's at NELL_BTP. You can get at us in the chat. We're live on YouTube as well under the Team 980. I gave you Javon Kinlaw. I gave you Deron Payne. I'm really just going to sum it up to the entire defensive tackle room.
Sure.
At this point. On the offensive side of the football, it gets interesting.
I got a couple.
I got Vincent Briscoe agrees with us and says, yeah, Deron Payne for real. I pick up what you're putting down, Vince. Payne's got to be better this year. I think everybody in the fan base feels that way. I think he will be better this year because of what our guy Mad Max laid out on the table. It's a contract year, technically. So Deron's going to have to put his money where his mouth is, or he's going to be packing his bags. But on offense is tough. There's a group last year that completely outkicked their coverage.
Played great.
A lot in part because of the offensive rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. Deebo Samuel is the answer that I know I'm probably going to have. He got to prove it. Now, I mentioned it a moment ago. He's my vote. If you had to sprinkle a couple of shekels on something, and I'm talking about $5 max. If there's a sports book out there offering you odds on him being the Opoy Offensive Player of the Year, I'd hammer it. And I'll tell you why. He is going to score a lot of touchdowns this year. I look at him as improving their red zone offense. I think it's a big reason why they didn't go running back until round number 7, because they've got Deebo Samuel in there as well. So I look at Deebo and go, you know what? He's got to have heard all the noise about how he's not in shape, about how he's past his prime. One thing I know about Deebo, he's putting in the work. I follow him on Instagram, and I hated these type of teammates when I was in high school and college. Bro.
That would always post how much work they're doing. It's like, bro.
Max, it kills me, bro.
Yeah, it's like, all right, man. It's high school football. It's 6A. Let's all calm down. No one's going D1 here.
You know what I'm saying?
Relax.
Some people were going D1. But
I'll
pick up what you're putting down. It would annoy the hell out of me. This was more of an issue in college than it was in high school. Because
your D3 school?
My D3 school. Boy, it annoyed the hell out of me. Some folks just wanted to wear the damn jersey.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic thing.
Look at me, though. Selfie, though. Jersey clean as a fresh pair of linen, though.
Pre-game fit. Come on, dude.
It's absolutely ridiculous. In high school, I kind of got it more because we're in high school, right? Everybody's geeked up to be on varsity.
You got to be a little flashy.
You're on varsity for the first time. You know what I'm saying? The honeys are staying after to watch the late game. People eating their Chick-fil-A sandwiches or hot dogs as they're watching you. Some of us got to play varsity as a sophomore. So
wow, look at you.
No.
Okay, buddy. Yeah. I long snapped as a sophomore. I'm a
You're a long snapper.
Oh, yeah. That's why we respect specialists on this show.
I love it. I absolutely love it. 301-230-0980 is the number. Off-season program for the Commanders getting ready to get underway starting this week. Rookie mini camp happens this weekend. 3 weeks from now, the start of OTAs. As we get into the off-season program, which veteran has the most to prove? I'll give you some on offense next here on the Team 980.